Welcome to the couch. I have something to talk to you about today. Have you noticed that when you do something you love doing, you kind of feel good about it? Or maybe when you're exercising, some of maybe your pain will go away? Or maybe when you're watching a movie late at night, you have a hard time going to sleep? Turns out, there's reasons for all of that. So today we're going to dive into your brain chemistry. Why is this important? It's important so you know what's going on inside of there, so that way you can understand. The thing is, with depression, with mental illnesses, very commonly, it's those chemicals are off balance, and that's the reason for it. It's not because you're a worthless person, it's not because you're terrible, because you're not. You are not any of those things. It's simply because of a chemical imbalance in your brain. And I found that in my own life, when I understood what was going on to my mind, to my brain, I felt a little bit better about myself because I realized that no, I just got sick. It's kind of like having a broken arm. I'm not going to blame myself for having a broken arm. I'm not going to feel bad about myself. It happens, it's here, and now I just need to heal from it. It's the same thing with mental illnesses, and especially with something like depression, anxiety, bipolar, so all the stuff like that, is that it can result from those chemical imbalances being unbalanced. And so let's dive into some of these main chemicals. We're not going to go into all of them because we literally cannot go into all of them because we don't know all of these different chemicals that are in your body. Science hasn't found all of them yet. So we're going to go into three main ones that can really apply to your life. The first one we're going to talk about is dopamine. You've probably heard this, whether it's in a science class or maybe on the news or an article. Dopamine, for those of you who don't know, is responsible for the pleasure sensors of your brain. It rewards you for doing something good. It giving you a kick of dopamine makes you feel good about yourself. It makes you feel great. That's part of why drugs are so bad, is because what most drugs do, depending on the drug, is it floods your brain with dopamine and you feel really good. The problem is that your brain reacts to that flood by decreasing dopamine receptors, which means that the dopamine might be there, but it can't be received by the different neurons in your brain, which means you can't feel it. It'll also limit its own supply of dopamine that it produces, which means that when you're not taking the drug, you feel bad. And that's why people get addicted, and that's why people overdose, is because the more they take, the more they need. And the more they need and the more they take, the higher your risk is for ODing on that. So that's dopamine. Dopamine can be helped fix, especially if it's a reason for you're suffering from depression. One of the reasons. Medication is a great way to help with that. What it does is it's designed to help balance those chemicals and to fix whatever is wrong going on basically on the molecular level of your brain. It gets super complicated. I'm not going to go into every single little detail of all of this. But if you're really wondering about all this, you can feel free to message me and I will fill you in on all the facts. So we're going to move on and we're going to talk about endorphins. Endorphins are another chemical in your brain that is kind of like a painkiller. It's a natural painkiller. Endorphins are there to make sure that you're not suffering from too much pain in your body overloads. So you might have heard of something called a runner's high. This is where when you're running for quite a bit of time, your body starts releasing endorphins and you start getting almost high from these endorphins, from these painkillers. And this is a natural way to get this. And there's other ways endorphins are released, and there's a lot of different scenarios. But also, this is another way related to drugs. Another reason that you should not do them. Another reason you should definitely not ever do them is because it messes up your brain chemistry, messes up your body chemistry. And the same thing with endorphins, drugs which are designed to release endorphins, which are like painkillers, which you can get addicted to painkillers, it's numbing all of your pain, it's taking that away. And then so if you take more, like I said with dopamine, you take more, you need more. So you take more and then you need more. And then that creates that destructive cycle. where you're basically just addicted and you're living for your next drug, which is an awful way to live. You don't have to live like that. You can be capable of so much more. And if you don't believe me, believe me, because I'm right. So, and we're gonna move on to another main chemical in your brain, melatonin. Melatonin is mainly responsible, of course, there's no one thing that all these drugs are for. The main thing that melatonin is responsible for, though, is a general state of calm and sleep. What happens when you go to bed at night is that your natural circadian rhythm, which knows, okay, it's nighttime, you need to go to sleep. That triggers a release of melatonin, and then that's what helps you fall asleep. It helps you calm down, slow your body and your brain down, and helps you fall asleep. Different things can mess up with melatonin. Mental illnesses can. So something like depression, and I just made a video about this last week about not sleeping as a sign of depression. Make sure you go check that out. Make sure you check that out. The link is in the description below. So what depression can do is it can block this drug, and that's what can keep you from falling asleep. It can also mess with this drug and make it more, so that way you don't want to wake up, and that's why you can feel exhausted and tired. So overall, there's a very delicate balance in your brain, and any change can have drastic effects, especially when you're introducing drugs. And that's the thing with medication is a drug, although it's made to help you. It's made to help you function like a quote-unquote normal human being. But it's also important to watch out because those can have side effects as well. So the thing with melatonin is that your screen is that the light it produces can actually mess with your circadian rhythm, which can mess with the amount of melatonin that's released, or keep the melatonin from being released. And that's why when you're watching Netflix at 1 o'clock in the morning, you can't really fall asleep. And then so there's certain ways around this, especially if, I understand you want to watch a movie before you go to bed, you want to watch some YouTube before you go to bed, totally fine, totally for it. There's actually apps, or even on your phone, like on my phone itself, there's a night mode, which makes the screen oranger, which helps prevent that release of melatonin because it's not replicating the outside light, that harsh blue light that enters your eyes, and your eyes tell you, oh, it's daytime, and so stop, don't release the melatonin, stop the circadian rhythm, and then it's all messed up, and we don't want that. We don't want a messed up chemical imbalance in our brain. We want a healthy chemical balance in our brain. So these are different main chemicals in your brain, and of course, like I said, there's so much more to all of this, and I mean, I could research for the rest of my life, and I could learn for the rest of my life, and I want to learn everything I need to know about this. But that's okay, because this is all we really need to know. So this is what's going on inside your head. And then so I found that when I learned this, I thought, oh, okay, so like I'm taking this medication, it's slowly balancing these chemicals, I'm going to therapy, and I'm helping with different thought patterns, and so that's something that really helped me, and I hope that this helps you too. Remember that your brain is so powerful, it's so amazing, and it has such a potential to heal, such a potential to change. Don't lose that potential. Never stop trying to overcome. You've got this. Hey guys, thank you for watching. You know what's up. You know, hit that like button if you liked it. Comment below with what you want me to cover next and what you thought of this video, or if you just would want more info on all those complicated chemical reactions that are going on. Make sure you are subscribing because I'm posting videos every single day just for you. Be unashamed, stay unashamed.